Reproduction in animals. The production of new individuals from their parents is known as reproduction. In fact, reproduction is one of the most important characteristics of living organisms. Reproduction is essential for the survival of a species on this earth. Modes of reproduction. All living organisms produce their young ones by the process of reproduction. There are two main modes of reproduction: sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, the production of a new animal from the existing two parents by the fusion of their gametes, is called sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction in animals, the fusion of a male gamete with female gamete leads to the formation of zygote. This zygote can then develop to form a new individual. So, in sexual reproduction, new animals arise from existing animals through zygotes. Asexual reproduction, the production of new animals from a single parent without the involvement of gametes, is called asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction in animals. Most animals reproduce by sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, two parents, one male and one female, are involved. An adult male produces male gametes called sperms. An adult female produces female gametes called ovum or egg. Fertilization, the fusion of a male gamete sperm with a female gamete ovum to form a zygote during the sexual reproduction is called fertilization. External fertilization, the fertilization which occurs outside the female body is called external fertilization. In amphibians like frogs and toads and fishes, external fertilization takes place. In frogs, the female lays hundreds of delicate eggs in water. A layer of jelly holds the eggs together and provides protection to the eggs. As the eggs are laid, the male releases a large number of sperms. Each sperm swims randomly in water with the help of its long tail. The sperms come in contact with the eggs, and this results in fertilization. Internal fertilization, the fertilization which occurs inside the female body, is called internal fertilization. In internal fertilization, the eggs are fertilized by sperms inside the female's body to form zygote. Internal fertilization takes place in mammals, including human beings, viviparous and oviparous animals, both in humans and hens. Internal fertilization takes place. Humans give birth to babies, whereas hens lay eggs. The animals that give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals. Cow and cat are other examples of viviparous animals. Sexual reproduction in human beings. Male reproductive organs. The male reproductive organs include a pair of testes, two sperm ducts, urethra, and a penis. Testes. A man has two testes. Singular of testis is testis. The function of testis is to produce male gametes called sperms and also to produce the male sex hormone called testosterone. Human sperm. Head, middle piece, tail. Vas deferens sperm duct. The vas deferens sperm duct is a narrow duct which starts from the testis and joins the urethra. The sperm duct carries sperms to the urethra by the muscular action of its wall. Urethra. Thus, urethra carries urine from the bladder as well as semen consisting of sperms from the vas deferens through the penis. Penis is a long and thick muscular organ. It injects the sperms into the vagina of the female body. Female reproductive organs. Female reproductive organs. Ovaries. The function of ovaries is to make the female gametes called ova or eggs, and also to make the female hormone called estrogen and progesterone. Fallopian tubes, oviducts. The ovum or egg cell released by an ovary goes into the fallopian tube through its funnel-shaped opening. Funnel of fallopian tube. Uterus. The growth and development of a fertilized egg or zygote into a baby takes place in the uterus or womb. Vagina. The uterus opens into a wide muscular tube called vagina, which opens to the outside of the body. Fertilization in human beings. The sperms are introduced into the vagina of a female through penis during mating. The sperms reach the fallopian tubes through the uterus. One of the sperm fuses with the ovum in the fallopian tube. Thus, the fertilization of the ovum and the sperm to form zygote takes place in the fallopian tube. Development of embryo in human beings. The zygote divides rapidly and repeatedly and forms a ball of many cells. This developing structure is termed as embryo. The embryo sinks into the soft and thick wall of the uterus. The embryo gets embedded in the wall of the uterus for further development. This is called implantation. The embryo continues to develop in the uterus. It gradually develops body parts such as hands, legs, head, eyes, ears, etc. The stage of the embryo in which all the body parts can be identified is called a fetus. When the development of the fetus is complete, the mother gives birth to the baby. Development of embryo in hen. Internal fertilization takes place in hens also. Soon after fertilization, the zygote divides repeatedly and travels down the oviduct. As it travels down, many protective layers are formed around it. The hard shell that we see in a hen's egg is one such protective layer. After the hard shell is formed around the developing embryo, the hen finally lays the egg. The embryo takes about 3 weeks to develop into a chick. The hen sits on the eggs to provide sufficient warmth. The development of the chick takes place inside the egg during this period. After the chick is completely developed, it bursts open the egg shell. Chick comes out of the egg shell and undergoes the development process. Similarly, young ones of insects, reptiles, and other birds hatch from eggs. Test tube babies. In some women, the fallopian tubes, oviducts, are blocked. These women are unable to bear babies because sperms cannot reach the egg for fertilization. In such cases, doctors collect freshly released egg and sperm and keep them together for a few hours for IVF or in vitro fertilization, fertilization outside the body. In case fertilization occurs, the zygote is allowed to develop for about a week and then it is placed in the mother's uterus, womb. Complete development takes place in the uterus and the baby is born like any other baby. Babies born through this technique are called test tube babies. No doubt that this term is actually misleading because babies cannot grow in test tubes. Young ones to adults. The new individuals which are born or hatched from the eggs continue to grow till they become adults. Let us study, in some cases, how young ones grow and develop into adults. Frog's case. Adult frogs lay a large number of eggs in water. The eggs hatch into small fish-like larvae called tadpoles that grow larger as they feed on algae and bits of plant material. The tadpole grows hind limbs. After both the pairs of limbs are complete, the young frog crawls out onto the land. The frog reabsorbs the rest of its tail and continues to grow until it reaches its adult body size. The transformation of the larvae into the adult through drastic changes is called metamorphosis. Asexual reproduction. There are several methods of asexual reproduction in animals like binary fission, budding, fragmentation and degeneration. Binary fission. In binary fission, the parent organism splits or divides to form two new organisms of the same kind. Budding. Budding is an asexual method of reproduction. In budding, a small part of the body of the parent organism grows out as a bud, which then detaches and becomes a new organism. Hydra, reproducing by the method of budding,